Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. With back to school right around the corner, I have created a teacher planner for you guys over on my Etsy store, so let's get into this. Alright, so I'm going to try and keep this intro nice and short so we can get right into the tutorial so I can show you all these awesome templates for this academic planner. So this planner is completely undated, totally customizable, and you guys are going to absolutely love it. Let's get into it. I wanted to quickly run through all of these different templates for you guys and show you exactly what they feature and how you can utilize them in your everyday classroom and in your everyday life. Sorry if you hear any weird noises, Gabby is under the table. So anyways, this is just a brief overview of what the calendar looks like. And so all of the different buttons, these are your dashboard buttons. We have your templates, emergency plans, line paper, and a dot grid paper that you can copy and paste and insert into any of these pages if you choose. So let's go ahead and look at the templates. All of these are hyperlinked, so you will be able to select them from any page in this planner. All right, so on the template page, I wanted to provide you with several different resources that you should and could use during your primary or your secondary level education. As a parent with a child having a 504 and an IEP, I know that the paperwork revolving around teachers is endless, and the note keeping and all of that is always very stressful. So these forms, I want to preface by saying, are not the actual forms, but it will help you with your record keeping and anything that you do in your daily classroom to make the 504, the IEP, any accommodations for your children easily accessible for you, and to keep track of notes so that you can do your tracking. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at some of these resources that I provided for you guys. So on this first page, we have websites and passwords. In websites and passwords, it's just an easy spot for you to write down all of your links, your passwords, all of the different usernames that you're going to need as a teacher. And then you can also select these and copy and paste them into the substitute plans as needed for your subs whenever they need to access any of your different platforms. Contact info, pretty self-explanatory. Important student info. This one I created specifically for students who have special needs, or specific needs, I should say. Allergies, reaction to allergies and treatments for those allergies, siblings that might be in the school or out of the school, any guardians that might be in charge of the student other than mom or dad, custody agreements in case there's a specific custody agreement that you need to be made aware of and that you need to remember before contacting any specific parents, and then any other information that also needs to be notated for each individual student. So I've provided 4 per page, but you can copy and paste as many pages as needed. All right, a year at a glance. I really wanted to make this one more for the teacher. So I have a year at a glance notes. So if you have any specific field trips that are coming up on any particular months, if you know that there are going to be any pep rallies or fundraisers going on during any particular months, you'll be able to list those here. You can also use this as a birthday calendar for all of your students as well. And then I created a vision board for you, and it's just literally a blank page for you to go ahead and build your vision board for the school year. And that can be for a personal vision board, for an academic vision board, anything that you would want to use your vision board for. The next thing that I've provided for you are the weekly layouts, and these can be in a half page or a whole page. I have the half pages listed here with a dashboard on one side and then a dot grid or a line paper on the other side for quick note taking. And then the whole page would be just the dashboard on the whole page. For either 5-day or 7-day, you can have this to where you have your different periods blocked out in them. If you teach one subject 5 days a week, if you teach several subjects 5 days a week, you can really customize this as far as you really want to take it. And because this is in Quick Notes or Notability, you should be able to select your pen and draw all over this. You can make whatever annotations you want to this to be able to make it your very own. As far as the daily layouts, I have included a half-page dashboard with a dot grid and a half-page dashboard with a line. I particularly enjoy the dot grids because I really enjoy bullet journaling. So I find that the dot grids really help me more so than the line paper. But if you happen to have a meeting that day and you really wanted to have a quick space to notate and take down information that you'll need from the meeting, then that provides you with that space to take that down during that day. As far as the substitute plans go, again, these aren't very specific, but this page you can export by coming over here to the little square with the arrow up, export this page, or print this page rather, and you can print this for your substitute, and you can have all of this ready to go ahead of time and have it printed out for your sub. So on this page, it's just welcome to my classroom, the front office phone number, the team teachers' room numbers and phone numbers in case they need assistance in any way, and then the emergency procedures. A lot of schools have their emergency procedures located in their classroom somewhere, and a lot of substitutes don't know where they're located at. So I do have a space here to tell the teacher where to tell the substitute where the emergency plans are located. I also have this button up here for emergency plans, so you can take the PDFs that your school emails you and implement them into this digital planner so they're always with you, and you can also print this off for your substitute as well. Back to the sub plans, just the class roster, the class schedule, and then whenever I was substitute teaching, I always found it helpful when the teacher would asterisk next to the students who she would have selected previously as classroom helpers. That way, if I had any questions about the teacher's everyday activities or something that the teacher normally does, that way it would make it a lot easier on the students as well. Here there's space for the lesson plan, and then here's room for notes and feedback for the substitute to leave you. And when I was a substitute, I always enjoyed being able to leave my teacher notes and well wishes, and definitely any notes of students who really exceeded expectations and excelled during the day, and also any students who needed some redirecting once she got back into the classroom. So I left that there for you, for your teachers, or for your substitutes. Over onto this side, this is more of the tracking section of the planner. So the student focus checklists, this is a multi-purpose checklist. You can use this for grading, attendance, anything that you could possibly want. I made it super colorful because I love these, I guess you would consider them like the Astro Brights paper, but super bright, pretty colors. So again, you can use this for whatever you want, and there's 30 lines on each side. Student job assignments over here. Again, this is more for the primary age group, so if you're secondary, you might not use this, but you can definitely cover these letters up just by scribbling over it with a white marker in your note-taking app, and then you just have blank boxes. So it's definitely customizable if you know how to work GoodNotes and Notability to your advantage. This page is definitely my favorite, the classroom blueprints. So with this one, I have also included a sticker book for the classroom blueprints. So over here you have your kidney-shaped table, your half-moon table, your trapezoid tables, your rectangle tables, the square tables, those who have the trapezoid desks, and then we also have regular desks down here in all of the different colors. And then these I created as chairs, so you know how many chairs you can set up to each table, and I tried to keep them pretty true to size. It's been a really long time since I've been in a classroom, so forgive me if these aren't exactly true to size, but you get the idea. So in this package, you'll be able to have all of these stickers that you can insert into your planner. This page specifically is on my GoodNotes, so I can just, select my lasso tool, select, copy. Oh, did I have the images? Yep. Make sure images is toggled over. Come back over here and paste. So now I can place my teacher desk or my group table, whatever you want to call this, and then make my blueprint for my classroom. And again, because this is GoodNotes, I haven't used Notability just yet, but I'm sure that it's probably got the same feature to it. You can come over here and make this your board, and this is your classroom rug, and you can use this literally for whatever you could possibly imagine. And then student follow-up, for an area for teachers who need to follow up with their students on any outstanding paperwork or any tests or assignments that they have not submitted. I just included an area for you to be able to follow up with your students in any given quarter. Down in the lesson plan template, like I said, it's been a long time since I've actually been in a classroom, so I don't know if the standards have changed, if you have to submit specific paperwork to your school for lesson plans, or if this would suffice. But as far as your brain is concerned, if you need a quick space to jot down what you think your lesson plans are going to be, I have a space here for a daily lesson plan, a weekly lesson plan, a primary all-in-one lesson plan, so for math, reading, writing, etc., and then a secondary lesson plan for whatever specific subject you teach. And then here's just a quick glimpse of the daily lesson plan. And I give you a spot to enter in the grade level that you're teaching, the date you're planning on teaching it, the standard, the learning target, vocabulary words you might be covering, materials you might need, the intro, the model, guided practice, independent practice, closure. And then I like this section down here because it's going to give you a space to let you know next year what worked and what you would change for the following year. Now down into this section, I really enjoyed creating the section for goals and growth. So over here we have a section for teachers, and over here I have a section for students. Over here in the teachers and the professional category, I have created several different checklists for you that are going to make your life a lot easier. So for instance, a before you leave checklist, I definitely had a lot of teachers reaching out to me saying, I need something that's going to remind me to do all of these things before I leave at the end of the day. And if you wanted to, you could take a screenshot of this, squish it down or crop it down, and then add this to your daily page so that you remember to do this before you leave, and it doesn't have to be in an entirely separate tab. So some of the things that I used to do were wanted to make sure that I empty my inbox, I prep the next lesson, I reset my classroom, which was a big one. At the end of the day, especially when I was substitute teaching, I would always make sure that the teacher's classroom was reset for the next day, that all of the pencils were resharpened, all of the chairs were pushed in or stacked, however the teacher preferred, any paper was picked up off the floor because it also made it easier on the janitors, and that any paperwork was nice and tidy in any bag, in any baskets or bins where they belonged. One thing that I always found really helpful is making sure that my desk was clear by the end of the day. It's like cleaning up the kitchen before you go to bed at night. It just feels so much better when you walk into your classroom the next day and it's just nice and tidy. Having the papers filed kind of goes hand in hand, but it's nice to have it separately so that you remember to do that. Attendance submitted. So I know that some teachers submit it as soon as they walk in and they're done and it's taken care of. But there are some teachers who just submit it at the end of the day. So having that checkbox there to make sure that you submit it to attendance that day is definitely helpful. Entering grades, I know that teachers don't necessarily do this every single day, but on those days that you do need to get this done, it is nice to have that checkbox again to make sure that it's taken care of before you leave. And probably one of the most important things nowadays is to shut down your computer and charge your devices. And it's very important to shut your computer down. I find, at least in my personal life and daily work life, it just helps my computer take a break so that when I come in the morning, it just takes a few minutes to get it started up, and it really doesn't affect my day as much as having a computer lagging. Then on this next page, again, like I said, you can just take a screenshot of these, crop them down, and fit them wherever you would like. I have an expenses tracking form here, so you can track your expenses by the date, the expense, enter in the category, and the amount. As teachers, I know that you all spend a lot of your own personal money and you have to either expense it out or you need to write it off at the end of the year during your tax time. So having this tracker here is definitely going to be helpful for you for keeping track of all of your purchases. Affirmations and monthly goal chart trackers. I really wanted to keep this in here for the teacher who is really into daily affirmations and reminding themselves that what you're doing is so, so important. So I got a lot of these affirmations from teachforamerica.org. I did not come up with all of these. I did add these two in myself, but I feel like these are really important for reminding yourself daily that the work you do is completely unmatched to any other profession in this world. You are literally raising the next generation. So always keep that in the back of your mind that what you're doing makes a difference. And then professional goals. I wanted to leave a spot for professional goals too. If you have something in mind that you're working towards, I want you to be able to track it and then see how it actually affected you in the long run. And then a lot of people like these goal trackers to where they just kind of tick off the days that they do something. So the black box up here, if you use a white pen, you can write in here what your goal is. And then the days of the week, you can number this. You don't have to number it. I did leave 6 lines for those months that do start on Saturday and end on Sunday for the 31 days. So there is enough room for all of the months. As far as your personal goal tracking, I left in a spot for water intake, steps, and any other goals that you might want to track in this format too. So I really like these where you just kind of bubble it in, and then any daily trackers that you might be doing, and then you just kind of fill out your goal here, and then you can check off the days that you completed those there. Over in the students' academic behavioral growth section, so the academic and behavioral goal tracking looks the same as the teacher's version, but they are specifically split up into academic and behavioral goal tracking. I'm sure that your school probably has its own version of these, but if you want something that's catered to you specifically and is in your planner, then I have provided this for you as well. The next one is going to be 504 accommodations and IEP accommodations. Now, I am just a parent of a 504 and an IEP student, so if I have left anything out, if there's information that needs to be captured that I can capture in this format or in this form, please leave a comment down below. I am really wanting to make this a lot easier on teachers because I know that all of these meetings, all of these different forms that need to be filled out, so many people are involved, and keeping track of it is going to be crucial for you. So I want to make this as easy as possible on you. So if you find any way that I can improve really any of this planner, please leave a comment down below and I would be more than happy to make those adjustments and relaunch the planner or put it into another planner in the future. So the things that I found most important that I would think that a teacher would need as a parent of a 504 and an IEP student would just be the student, the quarter that you're currently in, and then the lesson for the accommodation, whatever the accommodation might be for that student, the efficacy of that accommodation, any improvements that can be made, and then just a blank spot for notes. So currently my daughter has a 504 plan for her reading and she needs to be given more time, and there are several different ways that her teacher has been working with her on giving her more time. And then during our meetings we talk about what was most effective and then what we could improve upon for next quarter or next few weeks during her evaluations. As far as an IEP goes, my son has just gotten an IEP, and I haven't gotten really far into this. So he does have ADHD, so he is classified under other health impaired. So there are several different IEP accommodations for several different disabilities covered under the ADA. So this probably isn't the most effective way to record any of this information. So like I said, please let me know how I can improve specifically this form. So for the IEP accommodations, I just included a goal for the student, the subject that the goal is listed under, and then the schedule for the student, and then it's broken down into the different quarters. And then testing scores is another big one that I know that IEPs fall under to make sure that the accommodations are properly suiting the student for their needs. So another one that I found would be really helpful would be a conference sign-up sheet. So again, you can print this form off, leave it on your table, email it to your parents, let them know, have it for your reference, whatever you need it for. And then a conference notes, the student, the parent, the contact of the parent. I also wanted to include the improvement sandwich, the 3 positives, 3 things to work on, and 3 solutions of the things to work on. So it's kind of like a positive, positive sandwich, you know what I mean? I found that really effective whenever I was speaking to parents or whenever teachers were speaking to me, to keep it on the positive side and keep the conversation moving forward in the interest of the student's progression, if that makes sense. And then notes and calls to action. So anything that you might need to do as the teacher to follow up or follow through with the parent. And this is just a communication log that I have here. So any specific communication that needs to be had with parents, teachers, etc., and then details for communications can also be copied and pasted behind this log if you choose to put them in one of your tabs, or if you would like to copy and paste them behind any of your specific days in the months to come. And then here's your dot grid and your line paper as well. So you have it in two different places. These two dots up here are dot grid and line paper, and then down here you have dot grid and line paper. And then as far as the months go, it's pretty self-explanatory. We have the month view where you can write on here as much as you need. This is more of a personal view of the month. And then on this, and then the next page behind it is blank for you to insert anything that you could possibly want behind that month. And then you move on to the next month and then the same thing. So all of this is going to be very user-friendly and customizable for you as the teacher or as a parent or a teacher/parent.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'm so excited to finally be able to get this planner to you guys. As soon as I launched my previous planner, it was the rose gold one on the shiplap background. I was so inspired that I literally created this planner in less than a month. So I'm so happy that I was able to get it ready for you guys before the start of the school year for 2021-2022. But this planner is completely undated, so you don't have to only use this planner in 2021-2022. You can definitely use this every single year that you teach. And as you saw in the tutorial, it's super customizable for whatever you might teach, whether that be primary or secondary. I want to thank you guys so much for supporting me, for supporting my channel, for supporting my small business. And like I said, if you have any suggestions or questions about any of the products that I am featuring on my Etsy store, please feel free to go ahead and leave a comment down below, or you can find my information on my Etsy store to leave me an email or a comment or anything for any feedback that you might need from me. Also, if you've not done so already, please consider subscribing to my channel. I do a lot of organization content, definitely a lot of cleaning content, but anything to make the working mom's life easier. And that's what really led me to my passion of digital planning, because it has made my life so much easier. I cannot even explain how much easier it has been. So that's one of the reasons why I started this journey in creating digital planners, is to make things easier. So I hope that this helps. I hope that you enjoy it. I hope that you like this planner, and I will see you in my next video. Bye y'all.